Hey guys, this is Tommy from Kamelot, and you're watching HeadBangers Lifestyle. I mean, it was of course a lot of pressure that I felt, from Roy being such a loved singer and praised singer. But at the same time, I just couldn't let that get to me. I just had to focus on who I am and what I want to say with my music, and at the same time, of course, fit in. Of course, there was a lot of thinking before, like, do I want to do this? Can I do this? Can I make it, justice to the old songs and everything? But I really think, once I decided I want to go for this, I just tried to be 100% myself by doing what I think is good in music, but still honoring the old stuff away. But then I was able to maybe bring something a little fresh and new into the picture. So that was what I was aiming for, and I think that's actually what also happened. Maybe a little more positive vibe. The music itself is really, gripping and moody and dark and everything, but everything doesn't have to be that. I mean, you can still have a positive energy on stage, a positive, crowd, feed off the crowd, and the crowd gets energy from us. For me, that's a super important thing, the interaction between band and the people in the crowd. 'Cause when the night begins to fall, I watch the shadows go. No, it was never a dream. I mean, it just happened to me, and in retrospect, I'm super happy that it did, because it opened up a lot of new things and possibilities for me to play for many people, sing for many people, reach out to more hearts, so to speak. I've been doing this for 10 years, more than 10 years already, in another band called 700. And I mean, smaller crowds, but still the same kind of thing. When Thomas asked me to join the band, I was like, yeah, it's a big thing. You have to think about it a lot. But then when as soon as I realized what it's going to mean, and I started listening to all the songs from the band, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. I wouldn't have joined a band that I don't like, those songs that I don't like to sing, of course, and with guys that I don't like. So everything kind of, came together. Really cool. Well, it's a whole different thing. I come from progressive metal. Playing a show with progressive metal is not so much about the stage presence and the stage. It's more about how you play, execute your individual instrument a little bit. And here it's more of a group thing, interactive thing, as I just said. So I had to work a lot on my stage presence and, getting my chops down. It feels supernatural now, so I don't know what I did before. It was the same actually on Silverthorn. It was just thrown right into the fire, so to speak. The first album is always the first album. I didn't have so much time to get, to know the band and the history as well. So I kind of had to take many pointers, but it was already natural from the beginning. Like, okay, listen to the old songs, try to make them, sound like that a little bit. Of course, this time we had more time. We had more time to do stuff and think about what we want to say with the music, and I think it shows. I can be anonymous. I mean, I don't usually move a lot in the circles of music anyway when I'm not touring. I have a daytime job at home as a firefighter. I mean, those guys, they know me from way before the music, and it's nothing special. Of course, they think it's cool that I tour a lot and play music. But, I mean, I'm just a regular guy there, which is nice. Not so many people recognize me on the street, once or twice, it happens. But I feel, I like that situation actually, because I would say I'm more of an introvert person than an extrovert person. I get energy from solitude, when we go on tour, it's a very special thing, because then, you know, a couple of blocks around the venue, everyone knows who you are, and everyone wants to talk to you, of course, and say how much, you know, if the music means something special to them or something, which is awesome. So that was a big thing, you know, like, trying to cope with all these, you know, things. But then again, I can just be myself and just, you know, be who I am, and I think that people respect that. Well, it's probably that I am an introvert. I enjoy it super much to play music, to sing in front of people and do that thing. But after a tour, I'm usually super tired, you know, because all my energy goes out, you know. Of course, I get a lot of energy from fans and stuff like that, which makes sense. But then, where I really draw my energy from to recharge my batteries is when, you know, in the silence of my home, you know, with my family, and most of the time completely alone. So that I have to recharge batteries to be able to go on tour. I also learned to more carefully plan how, you know, recordings and how long everything can take and stuff. I've always just never settled for less than perfect. When I think it's perfect, I stop. But for Kamelot, we have a deadline, and we have, you know, this period is songwriting, you know, and then if it's not done, it's not done. And you have to release something that's not done. So I really have to, I really learned to make, you know, work within a certain framework. One thing that I learned from Sasha, who's the producer of Kamelot, is that sometimes the first take is the best. You know, I would never save anything that was the first take, because I would usually just do a couple of crappy takes, throw them away, and then start. But it can be, I've discovered, some magic in the first take. It usually is. So if you make sure you can record, that's my tip to you guys, if you actually are a recording artist, to always make sure you have a good sound when you're doing the first recording, because no matter how hard you try to do it again, you're not gonna get that magic or that soul of that take. So just be sure you have a good sound when you record the first take, and because that's usually the best. I always have a couple of days of black hole. You know, everything is gone. Your routine is gone. Your daily routine from a month, you know, is gone. And yeah, I always have 2 days of just, you know, go back home and take a long shower and go to bed, and, you know, just try to sleep it off a little bit. You know? It works pretty good, actually, for me, and it's probably necessary for me to not be stuck in one world, because the music world is really special, and can really, you know, drain you if you're a creative person. So for me to just go back to what I know since many years, you know, and do that kind of automatically is really, for me, it really helps, you know, to be able to build that inspiration up again during those periods of work. You know. My life motto would be to just be the best person you can be. Every, you know, always. Well, I'm super happy that we end the tour here in Tilburg in Holland. It's always super cool to play Holland, and I know for a fact that this show tonight is going to be epic. So hope to see all you guys there. Thank you guys for watching HeadBangers Lifestyle.